Welcome everybody, how's it going? My name's Captain Stu and here today with you to talk about audiobooks. Do you wish you were better read but suck at reading? Me too, but it's 2015 and the books read themselves. So, we're going to do some audiobook reviews. So the first audiobook that I managed to get through once I learned of the wonder of audiobooks was Moby Dick by Herman Melville. The version I read was narrated by Frank Miller and copyright 1987 by Recorded Books LLC. The book is 21 hours and 20 minutes long, and this is before I learned the wonder that is setting your phone to play at 3 times speed. So I listened to all 21 hours and 20 minutes of this book in real time. I remember that being an adventure. The plot centers around a young man named Ishmael, who tries to make his way onto a whaling ship to pay his bills. He befriends a man named Queequeg, who is an extremely capable harpooner, and the two of them sign on to the ship Pequod under the captainage of Captain Ahab. Under the guise of being your standard whaling adventure, the two of them go off to begin hunting the elusive white whale. So this book is a series of whale-based adventures with a great cast of interesting characters, and it all perfectly builds up to the climactic showdown between Captain Ahab and the white whale. And if you haven't done so already, I would highly recommend you read the book. I'm going to go into detail for the rest of this review if you like, so count this as a spoiler warning, but if you haven't done so already, read the book. I interpreted the theme of this story to be the dangers of obsession and the dangers of revenge, and what a quest for revenge can do to the human soul. You spend most of the book slowly learning that, while a successful whaling captain, Captain Ahab has spent the last several years of his life planning and conducting an elaborate revenge. He's only got one leg that he lost to Moby Dick, the elusive white whale, previously in his life, and apparently it attacked one of his old boats, took his leg, ate a bunch of his shipmates, and left him with a burning hatred and desire in his heart. And he spent years on building up the resources and becoming a captain on the Pequod so he can, under the guise of a standard whaling vessel, go and hunt down the elusive white whale and claim his revenge. Ahab puts his revenge above all else, placing someone else's boat and the entire crew in great amount of danger solely in the pursuit of his personal revenge. There's a neat dichotomy that happens in the book between Ahab and his first mate Starbuck, because you can kind of see what Ahab may have become, or the man Ahab might have been or used to be before he sold his soul to the spirit of revenge. While the main themes of the book tend to be revenge and the dangers of obsession, there's also a lot of exploration in several sub-themes, such as culture, class, and race divisions. Ishmael is the story's POV character, and we spend a lot of time with him. But he befriends a man named Ishmael, who's an excellent harpooner, but also described as a mysterious man from Africa, tribal, etc., etc. But his harpoon prowess is renowned throughout the whaling fleets. We watch Ishmael learn the trade from his companion Ishmael, and watch Ishmael struggle because, while he is a legendary harpooner, he's also bound by this invisible wall created by his being viewed as subhuman by the owners of the boats and the owners of the whale fleet because he's a different color and from a different culture. There's even a part in the book where a different boat asks Ahab to borrow Queequeg for a day because he's so awesome at being a harpooner, but at the same time knowing that Ishmael, who's just learning how to be a whaler and is a subpar deckhand at this point in the story, is still seen as more of a human being than this excellent legendary harpooner. And it's kind of fun to watch, and really sad too, to watch Queequeg, come to terms with the fact that despite being so awesome, he's going to always be kind of bound where he is by his race. So there is a lot of really cool stuff going on in this book. It's got a great plot, great theme, the characters are fun, but I must admit it does feel at times like 2 books jammed into one. In between the chapters of Ishmael and his friends on the boat, there are chapters that just frankly drag on and on about whale biology, reports on whale trade and the economics of the time in relation to the whaling trade that just kind of feel out of place and are just a little bit immersion breaking at times. Because just like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne, these parts about whale genealogy and economics, while interesting, are extremely jarring and pull you out of the story a bit. In 20,000 Leagues it made sense because we were with a biologist, but here we're with a basic deckhand who's learning, learning the hard way how to make it as a whaler. In between chapters about whale genes and subgenes and subspecies and subcultures, and it's kind of out of place and a little jarring. Apparently it really hampered the book's sales when it initially came out. And a lot of people already know that this book was not well received when it was written, and it wasn't until the author had passed that it became known as the literary classic that it is today. So I mean, it's another reason I like audiobooks, because if this had been a book, I don't think I would have been able to power through all the chapters about whale biology. But because it was an audiobook, I put my headphones on and went for a long run and listened to the subgenres of subspecies of whales, pardon me. But power through them, because when you do get back to the plot, and we do get back to Ishmael and Queequeg and Starbuck and Ahab, it's well worth your time. But having said that, I can't deny that I loved the book. There's a reason it stayed the test of time, and it's still being read now in 2015 after being written in 1851. The character's a classic. Starbuck is a personal favorite of mine, being caught between duty and what he believes is right. Ahab is obviously a classic character that's endured. He's almost become a shorthand for obsession and revenge, and you can see parallels of Ahab in other media to this day. Highly recommend the book. Well worth your time. Power through the genealogy parts, because it's well worth it to learn where all these traits and these tropes and these little shorthands came from that have endured all the way to present. And there's a lot more to this than just the broad strokes. I think one of my favorite parts of the book is when the crew are discussing the legend of the white whale, and they talk about sightings of it all over the world, and how the white whale seems to be everywhere in the world and nowhere at the same time. How it almost takes on this supernatural quality, and it's almost like it becomes a cryptozoology hunt for a bit there, which I thought was really cool. So again, highly recommend the book. Definitely give it a read. It was a great way to kill the commute to my work. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you like what you saw. First episode, so I hope you forgive the little bit of shaky camera work. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of jump cuts by the time I get this edited. But again, this is the Captain Stu Nothing blog, your one-stop shop for all kind of things nonsensical and fun. But isn't that really what the internet's for? Looking at nonsensical fun things? Anyways, more audiobook reviews to come. Lots of other stuff on the channel. If you want to click subscribe, check out the doobly-doo, like, comment, subscribe. If you disagree with my interpretation of the book, keep it civil, but I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Or uncivilly, I mean, it's YouTube. You have all the power you want. I can't stop you from being indignant in the comments. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for coming out, and I'll hopefully see you again. And it's, for the most part, he's essentially a sidekick. He's Queequeg's sidekick in a lot of ways. Queequeg was an interesting character. He's depicted as a strange... juxtaposed? I'm never gonna get this take right.